Friday, October 24th. Let's see if we can get this. Give you guys a couple of minutes to get in here. Hope everybody banged that Pacers plus 7.5. We had to sweat that out double overtime. Thunder playing double overtime for the second time in 2 games. Um, Always sweaty when you're taking, especially taking 7.5 points, and you got to go through those overtime games. There's no game I hate to lose. I'd rather get blown out as we did with the Clippers the other night than to be taking 7.5 and then lose by 8 in double overtime, which could have happened if the Pacers fouled. Good job not fouling, guys. So much to talk about and do. We really got to move it. We're going to break this up into 2 parts. So, again, 5 o'clock tonight, we will do the NFL. I've got 4 bets, guys. Tune in at 5 p.m. tonight. I'll be back with the full NFL rundown. Where the injuries are coming in now. That's why I do the NFL at 5 on Friday. What I will say already for the Jets. Uh, Wilson has been ruled out. Sauce Gardner has been ruled out. Um, if Gardner was going to play, I could have taken the Jets if it gotten up a little higher. But without him, who's going to cover the Flacco throws 3 TDs anyway? Friday's so important, so we'll wait till 5 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock, I'll be back with a full rundown of the NFL. You're not going to want to miss that. Let's go back to baseball. I know I said I wanted higher. I struggle with this. I did send out a 1 unit bet just before coming on at plus 138. Um, so let's talk about it real quick. I think we talked about it yesterday, but Dodgers won 2 or 3 meetings in the past 2 seasons. Um, Dodgers 14-1 run going back to the final 5 games of the regular season. Snell unhittable. Dodgers have won his last 6 starts. He's 5-0, a 0.68 ERA. All those stats, that's just like pitching mismatch. You got a kid, he's savage here. This kid, he's a baby. He was pitching A ball this year. Now he's starting game 1 of the World Series. All that said, Toronto finished with the best home record in the American League. Uh, They're scoring 6.5 runs per game in the postseason, batting 296. They get Bichette back, and you just got to take them as a whole dog, a small bet. So we're on the Blue Jays again, as I said, kind of going over it, over it, over it. I finally says we got to make a 1 unit bet here. Kind of pissed there at 7.5 now. Could have got them at 8.5. Earth to God, I don't know who you're talking about. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. Patients came through. Good morning, Jonathan. How are you, my man? Brock Powell, huge move on the Celtics. Oh, did somebody give you guys the Celtics? Guys, I don't come on here patting myself on the back and boast. I'm him. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Do you understand? This is my business. I don't do anything else. I've done this 24/7 since I was a teenager. Okay. I told you guys yesterday that are just live members that I was going to, I'm not going to give you guys the futures anymore. I give you guys day of the game. And obviously, Friday nights, I will give you the NFL and we'll talk college. But I'm not going to give you the NBA ahead. That's for my guys that are actual monthly members. So I told you guys yesterday, DraftKings had 6.5. Okay. All the other spots started coming up. 6.6, 6.5, went back and forth. That game is now 3 or 3.5, depending on your book. Go find somebody on social media. Bijan wins, Steve Stevens, Vegas Dave. Go find me somebody that can do. Nobody can do what I do. So forget about trying to find somebody. So that's what we did. We took 6.5. Uh, Pinnacle's at 3.5. Bet online is 3 minus 113. It's just, again, If you're betting any kind of money, guys, you're going to want to be a full Massa Edge member. This is where you get these bets. Also, remember, no lives during the weekend and when there's NBA. I found +7 when you sent it out. Couldn't believe it. Ginger, nice. Every half a point counts, guys. Remember, uh, Wednesday night, 2 games fell on the number. Timberwolves fell 4, Sacramento fell 4. Every half point counts. Took Gordon. Oh, good for you. I'm not interested in props, my man. Don't waste my time talking about Panthers at home versus the Bills. That's football, okay? We'll talk about that for 2 streams today. 2 streams each Friday, guys, with football. 5 p.m., we go over the NFL. And then we'll add in some stuff if it's late breaking news. Believe me, I want to address the whole gambling situation for my longtime members. You guys know I've talked about the Tim. I lived through the Tim Donaghy days. That was known to us in the gambling community. We knew, and I could tell you I was one of the first guys outside of the guys actually in the conspiracy that knew. And I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it one more time. Um, Detroit Pistons are playing at the Brooklyn Nets. Okay. And at that time, maybe they were in Jersey. I think they were in Jersey. This goes years back. So this is the Jason. This happens to be Chauncey Billups, Detroit Pistons. We've heard that name before, haven't we, guys? This is Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, Brooklyn Nets. Anyway, I'm on the Nets that particular game. And I don't know why the fuck the line is going against me. Okay. And look, every once in a while, a line will go against me. Injuries will break, things will happen. But this line's going against me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this game? Pistons win the game. The next day now, we're going back years ago. So the next day, I'm actually reading in the New York papers, Daily News, New York Post. This is a quote from Richard Jefferson. You can go back and find it. Richard Jefferson says it was like playing against 8 guys out there. What he meant was playing against the 5 Pistons, playing against the 3 referees. So I write down the 3 referees' name. I forget what the next game was, but the next game that I had bet, again, the line is going against me. Get the referees? Boom. Who's the same referee in 2 games? Tim Donaghy. Yeah, that game went down also. Got them. There's no coincidences in life. Now I'm going to show you guys. This is Don Best. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, here is officials. Okay. When I hit that game, I get the officials for the game. Don Best I've been using for years. Okay. Don Best, who is now under different management, I believe, they knew about it. Because in games that Tim Donaghy was reffing, they were not sending out the officials. Guys, this game has been rigged for years. Not to the extent that you guys, there's a script and there's this and then it's a worldwide conspiracy, but to get a rogue guy here and there, absolutely. Anyway, what do we get here? Ginger says, think it's wild. All 3 arrested played for Rick Pitino at one point. Think he's involved as well. Kid Jefferson Kmart, Nick Easy. Yep, my man Scott Foster needs to be investigated. Look, following that, look, the NBA hushed that up like they were trying to hush this up. Okay, NBA doesn't want their brand hurt. They tried to give Donaghy a thing that he wasn't fixing games. He was betting on his not here, suck my fucking dick. You were betting on your knowledge. You ain't got more knowledge than I got in fucking making numbers, my man. Okay, you were fixing the fucking games, but the NBA and the FBI let that fucking happen. Um, so I've been going through this my entire life. Okay, when you smell a rat, when you smell something, and anyway, so we're on top of it. When I see something wrong, okay, and the numbers go against me, we start taking fucking down names. Laugh out loud, cheating poker games Where's the smoke? There's fire. 100%, guys, 100%. But anyway, that's the story. Go back to Tim Donaghy, as I said, Chauncey Billups, no stranger. How the fuck do these fucking idiots? They're making tens of millions of dollars. How do they fucking endanger that? I just don't understand. Anyway, let's move on. So we talked the baseball game. NFL, I told you I'll have tonight. Well, real quick, I'll say how good did the Chargers look? Just getting a couple of offensive linemen back. Pipkins and Alt come back. Herbert throws the ball all over the field. I told you, Chargers win. Harbaugh wins by rushing the ball. They rush for over 200 yards. The D holds fucking Vikings to nothing, and that's it. That was an easy win for the Chargers. Vikings, this just showing really how good Donald was last year. And I got to be honest, I didn't believe Donald was as good as he was last year. Thought he was made better by Jefferson, Addison. Um, but you see, he's taken that over to Seattle. Donald was he was a disaster at with the Jets. I mean, an absolute. He was terrible. He found new life. This kid, as most kids do. This is why I say, have a rookie quarterback. What you're supposed to do, give him a clipboard, okay? Sit on the sideline and take notes. Like we tell you, you learn more by listening, okay, than by talking. When you talk, you can't learn nothing. You guys out there listening to me, you're gonna fucking learn. Anyway, we'll do NFL later. Let's before we get to the fucking NBA, which I can actually say I own the NBA. Guys, I own the NBA. Get if you're not a Mass Edge member, if you bet any kind of money, don't think about is I'd rather pay $29.99. No, because you're not going to get any bets on Friday and Saturday. You're not going to get anything that happens after like today. I've only made one NBA. Well, I've made two NBA bets now. I made one this morning, but I made one yesterday. Um, but I've got another couple that are borderline that I'll be looking at, and you're not getting those after 12 o'clock. But let's go through colleges real quick. Tonight's game, the only game that I cover, again, I only cover the Power Four conferences. So we've got an ACC matchup. California will come east to play Virginia Tech. California barely got by North Carolina last Friday night, but that extra day is a little something. They got to come all the way across country. Virginia Tech, they had a bye last week. VTech sorely needs a win. These are two of your worst teams in the ACC, along with Stanford. I can't get the line to 6. I really don't want to be on Cal coming cross country off a W against North Carolina. But if it goes any higher, look, even at 6, it's Cal or nobody. I can't get the number this high. Cal or nobody. Do I want to get interested in this game? We'll see later. I talked about game 127, 128. If you guys have an official schedule, I'll yell out to them that way. You're a Massa Edge member. You know there's no way I can make TCU 17 points, 16 and a half, 17 points better than West Virginia. But the reason is not look. West Virginia's been playing without their starting quarterback, Mark Hoyle, but will be without their second string, Wilkins. So that's why this number has gone away from my number. Obviously, if it was because you guys see what my ratings are, if Wilkins was playing, we would have been all over. This game open 14 and if so. What the line makers will do when a quarterback or somebody big is going to be injured and questionable, they'll throw it in the middle. So that 14 and a half was a number Wilkins plays. That number is going to come right back down closer to where mine is. If he doesn't play, it goes higher. That's what it did. Still think it might be a tinge high, but not interested. West Virginia, a terrible team, going to go with a third string quarterback. Stanford's quarterback got banged up in the game last week, but they still were able to win. He'll be back, and that's the reason for that game that ticked down from 30 to 29. Some spots bounced right back, so nothing there. Talked about that BC Louisville game. Louisville coming off the huge win at Miami of Florida last week. BC, if it wasn't anybody but BC, BC is just so god awful, can't get on it. Ginger says, grabbed Heat plus 4.5 last night, taking a look at it. Ratings down to 2.5 now. Well, I'll get to that shortly. Billups quote at his post-game presser the night before he was arrested. Let's see where the chips fall. Let's see where the chips fall. Ginger, if you can get out of New York, you can spread your wings like a damn butterfly. Don't even know what that means, Ginger. And the Vikings had both Darnold and Daniel. Yes, they did, my man. Ginger's Vikings line may be worse than the Jets. They're banged up. The center, Kelly, IR, and O'Neal didn't play last night either, and Darisaw banged up. Ginger must be talking about Danny Dimes. That's who he's talking about. The Vikings had him at the end of the season last season. Other college games again, guys. We're waiting on that LSU game. Told you we're going to be on LSU. Home dog LSU night game against A&M. They've beaten A&M the last 6 times that the A&M has visited LSU. A&M's the better team. This is college football. LSU much better at home. We're taking the points again. Wait to see if it goes to 3. At this point, I'd rather take the chance it goes to 3, and even if I miss 2.5 and I got to grab 2, that 2.5, not as big as the 3. So we're waiting for the 3. And same thing with Auburn. Talked a little bit about Auburn, Arkansas yesterday, and they hit Ark. Ark now up to 2.5, and Pinnacle got 2.5 minus 18. Same scenario there. If that hits 3, we'll be on Auburn. So this is where you guys that won't be getting information over the weekend, you guys can look for those numbers. All right, let's get to the NBA. And once again, if you listened yesterday, or if you're a Massa Edge member, you got the Celtics plus 6.5 yesterday morning. There's nobody in the game that does this, so you know, okay? No Basil wins, no Stu Finers. Nobody does what I do. These are frauds. This is real. This is what I do every day for 45 fucking years. There's no better line maker than me anywhere. I'm not talking about on social media. I mean anywhere. Didn't seem like line wanted to get to a full 3. Grabbed LSU plus 3 minus 15 last night. Good grab, Ginger. NBA. Excuse me. Let's do it. Hawks at Orlando. Let's move this. Did I want to talk about any other college games? We talked about TCU, why we're staying off West Virginia. And all my Massa Edge members, even if you're a Massa Edge full member, should still be watching the live so I can explain why we're on some games and why we're not on other games that are big differences. Talked about that. UCLA. I would still like UCLA. Again, got to find out about Nico. Again, as I said, he was banged up in the game against Maryland. He did finish the game, but he was banged up in that game. Could only be Euclid or nobody in that game against Indiana. So NBA, and then we're going to do NFL tonight. Again, 4 NFL bets already. If NFL wasn't so horrendous last week, they would all be bigger. Love our spots. And when I do the 5 o'clock show, you will absolutely know why. So as I said, we got the Hawks travel to Orlando. Hawks, we bet against the Hawks opening night. I told you guys Toronto was better than everybody thought they were. Hawks, I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks they're going to be. Yes, they had Porzingis. Porzingis drops 20. They get Jalen Johnson back, who was injured for the most of last year. You pair him with Trey Young, with Porz, it's a nice little squad. I just don't have them where everybody else thinks that they should be. So they got blown out. Risticha, the other kid, he plays good. He gets your points. He's going to be questionable. He left the game. Magic. Now you've got Banchero and Franz Wagner. They score 24 each. Yeah, they add Desmond Bain. Remember, Memphis swapped Bain and KCP with the Magic. I like Bain. He adds 23, as they said. Magic hammered the Hawks 120-95 at Orlando in the playing game last year, and they split 4 regular season meetings. So a little bit of a revenge here. Again, if Risic is in for the Hawks, my number would be 4.5, just due to the little bit of revenge. But we'll wait to see if he's in or out. Again, right by the number. I'll just be watching this one. I'm a spectator. Cleveland Nets, again, for Mass Edge members, you'll look at the ratings, you'll say, wow, John's got Cleveland 15 points better on the road than Brooklyn is at home. Yes, I do. But I don't go throw laying 11 and a halfs and 12s. I don't go laying double digits just because I've got that. Do they have a reason to beat them? Look, they probably will. Cavs have won 9 of the last 10 meetings, but just 5-5 against the spread in those 10 meetings. They won all 4 last year. They've won the last 6 at Brooklyn 4-2 against the spread, and they won both last year at Brooklyn by a combined 42 points. They took that tough L the other night. We beat the number by 6. We beat the number by 6 points. When I say that, I got to say that we lost that game. It makes me want to throw the fucking table over. We beat the line by 6 points. Took the Cavs +4. Cavs +2, and we take a fucking L on that game. Still aggravated over it. Anyway, Cavs. We were at a disadvantage. Look, it was one of those games. You look at the fucking referees. You put their names down. The Cavs shot 18 free throws. The Knicks shot 36, and that's where the game was won or lost. We outshot them. We outshot them from 3. We were outgunned 36-18 at the free throw line. Getting back to this game, Nets are absolutely disgusting. They were blown out at Charlotte. Now, I told you Charlotte's a better team than they were last year, but you shouldn't go to Charlotte and get blown the fuck out. And they just were absolutely torched. Anyway, DeAndre Hunter did not play Tuesday night. He's Wednesday night. Questionable tonight. It's Cavs and nobody, but that's a big number. Celtics at Knicks. Gave this to you guys 36 hours ahead of time. I gave you guys this game 30. Nobody does this, guys. Nobody does this, okay? And that's why I gave it out to the guys that aren't actual Mass Edge members, just live members, because I know that you're not going to get this number again. So again, one last warning: you won't be getting the future games. Okay, you get games day of, except for the weekend stuff for college and pro. You'll get those on Friday. But we took 6.5 yesterday. So another playoff revenge, similar to last night. Knicks beat the Celtics in 6 games. Okay, more so, Celtics are coming off a bad loss. They get outscored 42-30 in the 4th quarter, and despite Joel Embiid going 1 for 9 from the field, they lose at home to the 76ers. Celtics are better than that. Look, obviously with Tatum injured, Porz is gone, Horford's gone, Holiday for Simons traded in Portland. This is not the same Celtic team that we've seen for the last few years, but they're better than everybody thinks they are, and that's why the Sharps have been on the Celtics both games they played. So always follow the pattern, guys. This was one of the first things I told you guys. I was in the office with my old man, Billy Walters, the computers, the guy that used to run the NBA. I won't say his name. When they came in, and I would say, well, they're on the same teams. And you'd start, this is how I started to learn. When they're on the same teams a couple of days in a row, it means they've got a different rating for a team than the line makers have. Anyway, they were all over the Celtics. That Celtic game went to 5 on Wednesday, and they're going to be all over. And they're all over the Celtics again today. Look at my ratings. Where do I got them? I've got the ratings higher. Anyway, Celtics not only coming with playoff revenge, but coming with a bad taste in their mouth, a fourth quarter meltdown, lose to the 76ers, while the Knicks beat who they feel is now their main competition to come out of the East, the Cavs. So they're coming off a big win. Make matters worse, Mitchell Robinson already ruled out. So he's coming into the season hurting already. Um, Hart missed the first game. Cat played. He was in, he was out, he was doubtful, then he wound up playing. He's got a legitimate grade 2 strain in the quad. Does he play today? If he plays, how much does he play? This is a no-brainer. Plus 6.5 with the Celtics, and let the chips fall where they may. Ginger, the free throw disparity on that game made me so angry. Made me angry too, my man. Bracket power, Flake double digits got to be a revenge spot or a real reason to beat them up. I agree so. Or coming off a loss, Cavs coming off a loss, and it's a team that they absolutely own. So Cavs are nobody. Bucks go to Toronto. Uh, Two teams that I've got better than the experts, fucking experts. I'm the fucking expert. Two teams that I've got better than the experts thought they'd be. Milwaukee still got Giannis. Now, granted, they played the helpless Wizards, but Giannis goes for 37 and 14 boards in just 27 minutes. As long as you got Giannis, you could put me and 3 of you fucking guys on the court with Giannis, and we're going to be a 500 squad. So they go up to Toronto. Bucks won all 3 meetings with the Raptors last year, and they buried them in Toronto by 24. They do lose Kevin Porter Jr. The kid had 10 points in just 9 minutes, and then he left with a left ankle sprain. He's going to miss both games of this little trip and maybe more. So that's a tough break for them. You got to remember, you don't have Lillard there, and now you got Porter out. We're going to talk about multiple injuries. Um, Everybody says, well, what's this guy's worth? Well, guys are worth more or less in different situations. So just for example, Joker. Jokic has for years now been the most valuable, and I don't care who wins the most valuable player, most valuable to his team. And I love that plus minus rating. Okay. Um, but he's worth even more because of the guys that have been backing him up in past years. Last year was DeAndre Jordan. So I told you guys yesterday, okay, or the day before when we were talking about the Nugget game. Now with Valanciunas, at least he's a legitimate fucking player. So if you go look at the box score, Valanciunas hits 4 or 5 shots and is a +4 when he was on the floor. Okay, I love that plus minus statistic. So Joker will not be worth that 7 points that he was in, say, last year, to give or take. Same is going to be true with the Pacers. So the Pacers are going to play tomorrow. Okay. Nembhard, if you watched yesterday, he got hurt. That was a big blow to us. Got to remember, there's no Halliburton and there's no T.J. McConnell. So we're playing with Nembhard. Now we're going to our 4th string point guard. So if you have Halliburton, or even if you have just McConnell, Nembhard by himself, not that big of a deal. He'll be a real big deal if he doesn't play because the other point guards are out. So just a few guys could wrap your minds around that. And I'm always available to answer questions. But it also depends who's backing you up. It just doesn't mean you're this guy's better than you because you're working more points. He might not have a good backup. This guy does have a good backup. This guy has other guys on the team that could pick him up. So a little FYI. As I was getting at, Bucks and Raptors, both teams better than the experts think they are. Raptors, we had the Raptors not opening night, but Wednesday night, absolute blowout at Atlanta. They shot almost 57%. If you're a Massa Edge member, you could see by the ratings, I've got Milwaukee better on the road than Toronto is at home, but Kevin Porter Jr. is not, I haven't taken off of Kevin Porter Jr. in there just yet. It was Milwaukee or nobody. If this line goes higher, if they feel the loss of Kevin Porter Jr. is worth more, it would be Milwaukee or nobody. Little issue Milwaukee has why I didn't jump on it. Milwaukee does have Cleveland next, and you know that's who they'll have their eyes set on, who they'll be battling, who they hope to be battling for that division. Just checking out some injuries, guys. Pistons Rockets. Pistons won 107-96 at Houston, January 20th, 2025. It was the last time the two teams met. They lost the prior 6 meetings, although 3-3 against the spread. I call them credit cards. CC Cunningham scored 23 points, but he missed 16 of 24 shots in their opener, a 115-111 loss to Chicago Wednesday. Rockets will have an extra day advantage. They played double overtime Tuesday. Sengun goes for 39, 11, and 7 in a monster game in that double OT loss. KD, he shoots 9 of 15 for 23 points and 9 rebounds in his Rockets debut. Rockets just a little bit better than I thought. I thought they might have been missing something because you could basically say it was like a 3-for-1 trade. Brooks and Green go to Phoenix for KD, but Houston also loses Fred VanVleet to injury. So they got to replace 3 starters. Sengun takes it up to another fucking level. KD comes in, anxious to see what KD does again tonight. Here's a game I make the Rockets higher. Again, as I said, Pistons won the last matchup. Rockets had won the prior 6. Both teams coming off L's. You've got Pistons without their second leading scorer, Jaden Ivey. Still, he'll be out for a while. I make this game a little higher. Just wasn't enough room to make a bet. But again, you're a Mass Edge member. For you guys that want a DG on every game, you could just look at my numbers. So you'll see I've got Rockets 7.3 points better on the road than Detroit is at home. That game opened up 5.5 at 6.5 now. Guys, so there's no ratings better in the world. Okay, and I don't again, no, not social media. There are no better ratings in the world. You'll see this almost every single game. The games that go against us, we're on them, and I'll talk about one shortly. Heat at Grizzlies. My man Ginger said he jumped on plus 4.5. So this would be Miami or nobody. But if the Grizzlies are healthy, there's no bet here for me. And I'm going to tell you why I stayed off this game. If Ja Morant is out, okay, I mean, that's the whole question mark on this game, Ja Morant. So Ja, all he did was score 35. I think he played 29 minutes. I know less than 30 minutes. Triple J, Jackson Jr., 18 points, 6 blocks in a win against the Pelicans on Wednesday. But John's questionable, and KCP also. Remember, I just said Memphis traded with Orlando, Bain for KCP. So they swapped shooting guards, your wings that, 3 and D guys. Now, as I was just saying before about your backup, John, normally, if you got Pippen Jr. back there, if you got the other guys, John's still going to be worked in that 3-point range, 2.5, 3-point range, depending on the game. Grizzlies have 5 guys out coming into this game, and I'm not counting Ja or KCP. So now Ja becomes even bigger to the line. Scottie Pippen Jr. out Ty Jerome, who they got from Cleveland. Remember, he had a nice scoring year last year. Out. Vince Williams out. Brandon Clark out. Zach Edey out. These five guys are out already. So now when somebody from the Grizzlies is out, he's worth even more because they're already shorthanded. So I hope that you guys understand that. So that's why I didn't jump on that number. Because if Ja's out, I'm betting this game anyway. But just so Ginger and the rest of you guys understand. So you look at my numbers, and I've got Grizzlies rated 3 points better at home than Miami is on the road. Well, it's going to be more than 3 because A, Grizzlies played home, no travel. B, Heat played at Orlando, so it's going to be their second road game in a row. Edge, Memphis. So this game's closer to 4, okay? Grizzlies had won the last 3 meetings, and then they buried the Heat 125-91 at Memphis in March. Norman Powell, 28 points in his Heat debut. Remember, he was with the Clippers last year. So they add Powell, but they still have no Tyler Hero. He played a solid game against the Magic, just didn't get the money. No Ja, it's Heat or nobody. Again, always because he's worth even more if he's out now, Ja, because of so many guys else that are out. Louis says Lakers breakdown. Yeah, we'll get there, but we go in order, Louis. We don't just go wherever you guys want me to go. I go in order. Spurs at Pels. I bet the Pels plus 4.5. Sent that out this morning, and I just think this game has gone too high. Wemby's the unicorn. I mean, this fucking kid is just insane. I said this the other day. You're watching Wemby and Shohei Ohtani. You're watching 2 unicorns. These are generational talents. Where this kid is going to be, I mean, he would have been the defensive player of the year last year if he had played enough games. Every statistic from last year was better than his rookie season, and this year going to be even better. He starts with what, 40 and 15 boards, and they dominate Dallas. Can they do it 2 days in a row? Remember, Fox not playing there yet. Castle's great. Love Castle for San Antonio. But now they're going to go on the road, a second straight game, can play a Pelican team. Look, Pelicans are a bottom of the West type team. They played a solid game at Memphis, their first game. Zion looked good. 27 points, 9 boards, 5 steals. They lost that game. And Missy, the starting center, he's probably going to miss this game. I don't give a fuck. Ain't AD couldn't cover Wemby. So you can put me there. It doesn't matter. Wemby's getting his. Did you see this kid not only jam, do whatever, he's fucking going behind the back, step back threes. It's insane. Anyway, they split 4 meetings last year, but with each team winning at home, Pelicans are 6-1 the last 7 meetings at New Orleans. Yes, again, they're different teams, but these are the stats that I look at. Now, plus 4.5, I think this is an overreaction to San Antonio. They look great. It's 1 game. They got to do it again on the road. New Orleans played a solid game. My number's right there on them. Plus 4.5 with the Pelicans. That game has not moved. It's actually gone up, and that's what. So this game opened at 3 and has gone up to 4. Unlike the fucking blowjob kids, line movement, reverse line movement, this, that. I bet on my line. Whatever my line says, and I think this line has gone too far, I'm on plus 4.5. Wizards, Mavs. Again, here's the game. You're a Mass Edge member. You're jumping at the bit. I've got Dallas only 8.3 points better at home than the Wizards are on the road. But again, this is now Wizards' second road game. This is Dallas' second home game. Advantage Dallas. Mavs won the last 4 meetings, including both last year, by a combined 58 points. But Wizards are 5-1 against the spread the last 6 at Dallas. Just don't want no part of the Wizards till I know how bad they are. Milwaukee could have buried the Wizards by I thought they were by 13. They could have won by 23. Again, Giannis, they only let play 27 minutes. Kevin Porter Jr. played 9 minutes and before he hurt himself with the ankle. So I don't know how bad Washington is. We'll see today. As far as Dallas, the big Cooper Flag era started with Jason Kidd using him as a point guard. And they went with a big lineup. Well, he missed 9 of 13 shots, did not have an assist, and turned the ball over 3 times. He also had a game worst minus 29 plus minus rating. So a total goose egg 0 for Cooper Flag. They'll look to get right. We call this a chicken soup game. You beat this team by 58 points combined in 2 games. They're on the road for the second straight game. You're home for the second straight game. You really want to pile it on again. My number said it was Wizards and nobody, but the spot said, hey, we could find better spots than putting our money on the Wizards today. Jazz and Kings. Kings have won the last 8 meetings, 6-2 against the spread. They've won the last 6 at Sacramento, but just 3-3 against the spread. Jazz shot 80%. I put this in my chat as they shot 80% in the first quarter and scored 43 points on the Clippers. This is who was supposed to be the worst team in the NBA. Well, I'll say it again. They shot 80% from the field and scored 43 points in the first fucking quarter, and it's supposed to be the worst team in the NBA. Welcome to the betting world, guys. Let somebody tell you they know who's going to win a game, guys. It's all about the number. You get an edge on the number. You understand? And that's the best you can do. It's an edge on the number, and there's nobody that's gets a better edge on the number than I do. Anyway, Levine scores 30. DeRozan 29. I told you, without Sabonis in there, plenty of firepower. Monk come off the bench. I think he got 18. They blow a 20-point lead. We had to settle for a push. We took +4 with sack against Phoenix. They lose by 4. Sabonis has been upgraded to questionable. Remember, he missed the first game. He's questionable. That's why you've seen this line jump up. If he's out, let me just get my numbers here. You guys will see I've got Sacramento 4.8 points better at home than Phoenix is on the road. This game went as high as 6 yesterday. Right now it's around 5. Again, if Sabonis is in, because my line is with Sabonis out. So if Sabonis is in, this line is going to go higher. Timberwolves Lakers. Let's answer some questions first. Jonathan's laughing. Do you ever adjust your rating for teams on back-to-back? Of course I do. What kind of question is that, Ginger? John, do you think Wemby has overtaken the joke for the guy who's worth the most points to their team? So with Fox out, it's close. Because who else besides Castle is going to pick up that scoring for San Antonio? Fox comes back in. I would believe Joker has a little edge. Let's get back to this Minnesota Laker game. All I want to do is know Luke is in. If I can get +3, I'm going to be on the Lakers. Timberwolves knocked the Lakers out. It's another playoff revenge, but they knocked them out in 5 games. Okay. Edwards, if you guys saw, Edwards, questionable. I told you he wasn't questionable. He was going to play. He scored 41 points in the opener at Portland. They were trailing the whole game. They caught them in the fourth, 118, 114. So they're on the road for the second straight game. Lakers, they played Tuesday night, so they've got an extra day, and they played at home. That's an advantage. Playoff revenge is an advantage. The thing I'm worried about, if you watch the game, you guys saw Luka pull up holding his groin a little bit. So he aggravated a little bit of the groin. He did practice yesterday. Got to make sure they're all okay. If I get Lakers +3, it's definite bet. Might even be +2, and if got to know Luka's in for the Lakers, but it's Lakers or nobody. Warriors, T-Wolves, excuse me, Warriors, Portland. Man, this is a fucking game. So, my man Ginger's asking a question about, do I change my ratings? My ratings for the team don't change. It's just the amount of points that I give to what we call the spot. So the spot is this. Golden State is back to back in the third city in 4 days. Okay, so Tuesday they open up at LA. They're off Wednesday. Play at Golden State last night. Now go to Portland. Back to back, third and four, overtime. This is a 4-point Portland spot. Just the spot. Portland played their last game at home. Okay. Warriors standing on business. I hold on. Curious how Portland plays without their coach. That's the other thing. We'll get there. I meant moving them even more for the extra time they played before. Well, I'm getting there. Just a 4-point spot. Now, Horford ruled out already. For you guys that know basketball, if you follow basketball last 3 years, Horford hasn't played back-to-back games in years. So we already know he's not going to play the second game. Kerr's been using him off the bench, and they're trying to keep him around that 20-minute mark. He's out already. Does Curry play tonight? Curry's 37 years old. I want to make sure he's playing. Because even if it's a 4-point spot and allow for Horford, as my man just mentioned, curious how Portland's going to play without a coach. This has got to be a huge, huge distraction in Portland. Warriors have won the last 9 meetings, 5-4 against the spread. They've won the last 5 at Portland, 3-2 against the spread. Jeremy Grant had a great game, came off the bench, scored 29 points for you guys that go back to last year. Remember, Grant wasn't playing the whole end of the year. Portland's a solid little team. Look, they can't threaten in the West. The West is so deep, so strong. But Portland is taking another step forward this year. How much will this Billups fuck them up? Big question mark on this game. The main thing here is Curry. If you saw this game was down to pick earlier in the day, now just by numbers, it's an automatic lay. But will Steph Curry play tonight? Again, back-to-back, third city, 4 days, and overtime. Fucking Steph went crazy last night, scoring 41. Does he play tonight? Butler, I'm not worried about. He'll play. We already know Horford is out. It's Warriors or nobody. Especially with the problems that Portland's going through with the head coach. And the final game is Suns at Clippers. Suns won the last 5 meetings, 4-1 against the spread, and they're 7-1 straight up, 5-3 the last 8 at LA. Remember, Clippers moved it to a new building last year. The games before that, the Wolves played where the Lakers played. I'll still call that the Staples Center. I don't know what the fuck they call it now. Booker scored 31, and the Suns rallied, as I told you, from 20 down to beat Sacramento the first night. Clippers, as I said, outscored 43-19. How the fuck do you allow? You have championship aspirations. I said this is the best Clipper team in the last few years. They added some great pieces. And you get outscored 43-19 at Utah, quarter one. You know that they're going to look to bounce back off of that. But again, Suns do real well against them. My ratings have Clippers 10.8 points better at home than the Suns are on the road. This game's sitting at 10 or 10.5, depending on your book, right by the numbers. Earth to God, people saying Warriors got the best starting 5. You agree, John? Do I think they get the best starting 5? I think the starting 3. Throw Dre in there. What has Dre done? Look, I don't like him personally. Okay, he's a dirty player. He plays like we used to play in the schoolyard back in the day when I was a teenager. Um, but he does so much for the fucking team. 8.7 boards, 7 assists. He's so him, Curry, and Butler, 3 seasoned veterans, and that's what it's about. Well, he's not a triple double, but anyway, guys, that's the story here. NBA buried the fucking line. Celtics plus 6.5. Take a peek. 3 or 3.5, depending on your book. 4.5 on the home dog Pelicans. They're the only other home dog. Well, Paul's a home dog also now. It was a pick 'em. Besides the Nets, uh, they're 6-1 the last 7 games against San Antonio. I just feel that this is a little bit of an overlay off of Wemby's extravagant start. Um, I got 4 NFL bets for you. Come back at 5 o'clock, and we're on. I know I said it. I'm going against myself. Didn't want to get in front of this Snell right now with a kid. Again, started pitching in single A this year. But a small 1 unit bet on the Blue Jays, just couldn't help myself. Can't stand Draymond, but he's the pulse of the team. He's not the pulse of the team. Steph is the fucking team, my man. Kawhi looked like Cooper Flag game 1, a rookie. They'll look better today, as I said. Clippers, this is the best Clipper team they've had in the last few years. Off for 7 days, though, work to take it to Toronto. It's off for 7 days. Toronto's hitting the ball. I don't think anybody's hitting Snell. Can they work his count? Snell can get wild. And he hasn't been lately, but he can allow some walks. Can you get some guys on base? It just takes one big blow. That's worth the shot with the home dog and Bichette back. Bichette's bat will be in the lineup. I don't know if he's going to be on the field, but even if not, he'll be as a DH. Remember, this guy was second in major leagues in batting average. Can't wait to hear your take on Bills Panthers because I'm tempted for sure. You will hear it at 5 o'clock, guys. Let me run. We got a lot of NFL injuries to look at. I'll be back at 5. Let's make some money.